Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. The Facebook posts are good. The lives and do hold you accountable, and that's the one thing that has been missing so far. So I've just under a week to get that together, and I will do that and see how that works out. So if that goes well, Silky's going to take the entire credit for my launch, which is fair enough.
And if it doesn't, I won't.
Yeah, couldn't have bothered, right? Yeah. Yeah, but good. All right. So that's where I am. I'm in the middle of a launch. Have 1,200 new people on my list, which is good. Feel like I've spent a fortune, have answered. I cannot tell you how many questions. I'll put the link to my video one in the chat for you, so you can have a look at how many questions I've answered.
Yeah. And I think also what is good is with the Facebook Live that a lot of people will have the same question, but they're not going to ask it, and they might not kind of read through all of your answers. But if you just do a quick 5-minute live, you can hit 10 of those questions and be done, and people might watch that like they're readers and they're watchers. And
yeah, that's true. That is true.
Wow, that's a lot of comments. Excellent.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. And so they can also comment on the second and third ones, which I'll put in there as well. Yeah, and so generally good comments. Well, they were all good comments actually, which was nice.
That's excellent.
As we're doing this, I'll put all my pages on there for you. They can't obviously comment on the last one. So yeah, so you can see people are still sort of going through the funnel. So on maybe at the weekend, I'll send them all, the whole lot, in an email to make sure everybody's got everything. Because I really do want to shut this down on time.
I like the way that so many of them have actually said quite a lot. It shows that there's a lot of interest, I would think.
Yeah, I thought that was a positive thing. I asked them really specific questions. So I told them what I wanted them to say, but it was nice that they all sort of told me what their horse was and stuff like that. That was good. And a lot of them said hi, Kate, which I felt was good as well. Yeah, interesting.
It's a little bit gimmicky, but I've heard that you can just copy all of this, the whole lot, and paste it into one of those things that creates just a little scattergun of the words that get used the most. And sometimes from those, you can look at them and see patterns that you might not have noticed yourself. I can't think off the top of my head any of those sites, but they're pretty easy to find.
I think they're word clouds. Yeah, word
clouds, that's what they're called. Yeah. And sometimes that can be really useful, although obviously with you having answered things, they'll be your answers mixed in there too, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Interesting. All right, so that's where I am.
And just with your lead page, did you have a video on that where they opted in to learn the masterclass? So this is treated like a mini class or a mini course?
My lead page is just crap, honestly. It gets the worst opt-in. I'm just trying to find it for you.
Well, 1,200 points, it must not be that bad.
Exactly.
But I've had 16,000 look at it.
16,000.
Yeah.
So that's what, an 8% or something.
Which one is it?
The lead page is the last one.
Trying enter.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. I'm curious because I know Jeff always says don't do a video on the lead magnet page, but I'm wondering if it would convert better because clearly they like your videos.
No, I don't have anywhere else. I don't have a video apart from me face to camera. So I stuck that on there because I don't know, without it.
I like it. The dude just fell off, or the lady, or whoever.
Yeah. See, that's a horse shying. That's what the masterclass is about. It was about, to stop your horse doing that, right? And so, you know, I thought that was pretty relevant. But I know, yeah, really poor conversion.
Really?
I have to admit, I look at it and it's a little bit dark. It's a bit bright at the moment, so it's a little bit squinty. And then I see this video, which is a bit hard to see, of the horse riding around.
Yeah.
And it just distracts me totally from the riding, and I just get all confused, and I just want to leave just because there's a video playing at the bottom, which is distracting my eye. I go straight to it before I see anything else. And then it's just someone riding around a horse, and, you know, then they fell off, and I went, it just was a big turn off. I think if you had a little video there that someone could click on, it would just tell me a little bit about it, and I might be more interested in it.
I don't know. Jeff always says that, I think he said that in one of the coaching calls, that from Launch Club, where they test everything, that whenever there is a video on there, it always converts poorer than if they don't have a video on there.
I'm just removing it right now.
You always do an A/B test and just try it with and without if you've got that technology. I guess that's the idea. If you've got the good tech, then the A/B test, you could have it with and without, and then eventually it'll figure out which one works and then remove the one that doesn't work.
I'm just going to take that whole section out. Right, there we go.
Now, Kate, I know nothing about horses, and I would assume that your people know quite a bit about horses. Wouldn't people kind of go, yeah, I know why my horse shies, or people think they know why their horse shies is because that it hears a noise or whatever, but maybe it needs something, and the reason may surprise you, or, you know, something where they kind of go, where you basically kind of go, hey, I've got a bit more secret sauce, and it's not just because there's a noisy car going past. Does that make sense?
I think you just need the word really in the first dot point. Why your horse really shies.
Nice.
Yep.
I think it also...
The real reason your horse shies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you've alluded to it. It's emotional. It's an emotional thing. How to regulate your horse's emotions. Now, I really like the idea of you kind of saying, you know, stop your horse from shying. Your horse is shying because of blah, 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 emotional blah, blah, blah. That's easy to fix. Blah, 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 blah. You know, something like that. So that people can be like, oh, it's doing that because it's an emotional beast, and I don't know.
So how to regulate your horse's emotions to stop shying.
Yeah, because how to regulate your horse's emotions is a clue that that's what it is. But something like how regulating your horse's emotions will, the golden rule is you think, but really, if you just, then you'll get. If you don't have those four pieces and people can't connect the dots. So you're saying your horse is, you think your horse is shying because of this, but really it's that. If you do my masterclass, I don't know, that's off the top of my head.
Hey, can you just say those again, Michael?
Okay.
Yes, please repeat.
I have to admit that I paid a lot of money and I flew all the way to the United States to do a very expensive workshop to learn this one. So it's a form of storytelling. It's a little format. If you want people to take action. So you have to say, you think, so you've got to explain what their belief and context is, what you believe it is, you think, but really, this gives them a new context. With that new context, they can suddenly see some possibility. If you've got to tell them an action to do, and ideally you can help them with that action, and then you will get. So there's four things. If you don't give them a an action, then they won't do it. And if you miss one of those 4 pieces, then the dots aren't connected, and you'll lose a lot of people.
Good stuff.
And the good thing is that you can fit it in one sentence if you really want. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that order, but they all have to be there.
You can do that within the dot points as well. I think what you're saying is right, Michael. As long as the elements are there and people can follow that narrative, it's it's good.
They have to know that the obvious way of thinking isn't going to help them. That there's an unobvious way of thinking or doing. A little tip, which is obviously, take an action by clicking on here or something like that, or just like learn how to work with your horse's emotions, and you will get a horse which is much more well behaved. Click here for me to learn how to do that. I don't know.
So is it something like you think your horse shies because of external things, triggers, but really it's because of its unregulated emotions? And if you just engage your horse and maintain attention, then you'll get the horse, or then you get the safe ride, where you basically use those bullet points and just put them into
If that were the case, then yes, and something along the lines of my masterclass will give you some real world steps in what that looks like. I don't know. It looks much better without that horse riding along the bottom.
Okay, yeah. So I've changed a few things. And thank you very much. That's good advice. I think it looks better now too.
And sorry, I can be kind of brutal with my feedback on this.
No, that's fine. No, that was good. There's some things with that I can't do. Like I can't see, people think they know why their horse shies, and a lot of the time it's because they think their horse is being badly behaved or doesn't like them. So I think what I've got is okay. I don't think I'm going to offend anybody. I can get them in and tell them it's their fault when they're in there.
Yeah.
And they seem to be taking all right to that.
Sorry, I jumped in late. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good.
Were you talking about your landing page, Kate? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a children's violin recital and made it back. Okay, and how's your launch going?
Yeah, fine. We're just finishing with mine. I've got 1,200 more leads. I've got 1,200 people going through the launch. So far so good. Cart opened yesterday. I sold one. But that's all right.
That's so exciting.
What's your price point, Kate?
The product is $997 US.
Okay, that's great.
But you can pay 12 lots of $97 US.
And you're in open cart now?
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, how exciting. And did you do it by video and email or just?
Yeah, so I've got an email that I'm sending to everyone that's opted in, and then I just broadcast my lot that haven't opted in every now and then.
Oh, amazing. Well done.
Thank you. Good. So who's next? Who's going to give us a roundup?
Well, I can go.
Good.
Go.
I have had lots of new insight since I attempted to start my launch. And basically I've got the art launch, which is still happening. I'm just finishing up those paintings. I've done a shot across the bow for about 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, ugh. So I don't want to give away too much, but I did that. And I then am doing my PLC content next week, creating that and basically trying to do it a little bit differently, showing more behind the scenes so that if people don't know my work that well, give them a good reason to sort of see how my process works, talk about the inspiration and do all that. So I'm going to give that a little more thought than my last launch. And then I'll be launching Open Cart a week after that. So that's going good. And I'm just going to go back and look at my lead magnet, because although I think it worked really well last time, I might look at what I can do too to bring in someone who might not know my work as well. And it was great showing you guys because you don't know my work at all. And you were like, why do I care? So I want to, you know, see if there's a way that might be interesting to pull that person in who might just be curious and want to know more about behind the scenes. So doing a better job of communicating that. So that is delayed, but it's on track. And then I did a survey. I was going to do a launch into teaching a color workshop and basically teaching sort of what I thought was the next level. And then I did the survey and it just totally reframed everything, totally gave me so much content. I'm literally pouring through pages and pages of notes on their questions and what they want to learn. So I'm reframing the offer completely. And I was working on lead pages or lead magnet pages for those, but I think I want to treat it like a mini course, even though it's a seed launch. So after I do the art launch and that cart closes, because I know that that's way intense on its own, I don't need to do all of it at once. So once that closes, then I will open up the mini course that will basically teach them the color. It'll be basically answering questions that I have from here and taking them through this little mini course that will lead into the seed launch, where I'll do it as a seed launch after that. So it's all happening, but the survey was really interesting. And I've also, in the meanwhile, gone through 3 artists, PLF just launches, and watched what they're teaching and watched how they're doing it and all of that. And I think for artists, mini courses are great. So because I get to do something and then I can get on and do a live Q&A and answer where they got stuck and then teach them something else. So even though I probably won't, you know, I'm not going to do like a 3-hour each time, it'll be short, because this product, I'm thinking of $297 as my price for the seed launch. I probably could go a little bit higher, but I think $297 for color, because it's just such a specific little unit. I probably will roll this color course into a bigger overall art course that I want to basically do, but I want to sort of build out little sections that will fill in the gaps.
So have you got a bigger course? Like if somebody buys the color and just falls in love with Michelle, what do you have to tell them next? You do?
Well, I do. I've taught abstract workshops in person. So what I ultimately want to do is teach how to basically make abstract, and then also how to sell it as well. And I've had people ask me for both separately, but ultimately I'd love to just have one big product that has all these pieces to it. But I feel like I need to do a seed launch on each little section to work out the components of it. So yeah, and the survey was like, oh wow, what you think you know they want is actually not what they think they want. And what I also thought was really interesting was they actually, because I know I asked specifically for some of them to do it. I know their work and they've asked me lots of questions, and so I asked them to do it. And so some of them don't have confidence when they should have confidence, and then other people were way overly confident when they actually need to ask for something a few steps back. So I thought that was really just interesting, understanding what people's perception was, and whether or not, I don't know if they think they're more advanced or they're just saying that. Do you know what I mean? Like that thing of like what people really need to learn versus selling them what they want and then teaching them what they need.
Yeah, very sensible.
So because I would have started in a different position for a lot of them and given them the basics, but they don't think they're really at that level. So that's been interesting. So I guess for that workshop seed launch, it'll probably be, the mini class will start the end of June, so that'll go into July. So
the seed launch, that just means it just goes to your current list?
yes, it does, but the seed launch is really more of a live
Building the product.
building it with them.
So do you still have 3 PLCs and then open cart?
I think I will treat it like that. I don't think they'll be that long, but I think taking the opportunity to treat it as a mini course and do PLCs, I was going to skip that, but I think now that I've got the survey, I have a lot to work with, so I can actually give them value and probably get a bigger list. I think the list will grow bigger if I do PLC.
So class could still begin
Yes.
2 weeks from the first day the first PLC goes out. It's just one of the things I found this time was I set my PLCs 2 days apart, and I got a lot of people emailing me saying, where's number 2? I can't get number 2. It's a lot.
As in, like, you should have done it closer together? Or
yeah, like I should have done it one each day.
Oh, really?
If you're saying the class starts in 2 weeks' time, after, you know, that's fine, because when they get in, then it can start in 2 weeks. I think mine have got a bit frustrated waiting for the next bit, and so I've now moved them closer. But you know
what I've seen another artist do, which I thought was good, a little bit confusing, so I want to make sure I don't over confuse, like go here and do this, like too many moving parts. But she did PLCs, then the next day she'd get on Facebook and do a live and answer all those questions from that PLC, and then the next day she would do the next PLC, and then she'd do a Facebook live. So it was a sequence of people getting feedback the day after the PLC. And
it's good, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you could tell she was a bit frazzled, and then she had like total, like technical, I think her internet went out right when she hit send, and something was supposed to send a day later, and PLC2 went out a day early. I was feeling for her, and she got on, she's like, I'm so sorry. But no, I mean, it was a free course, and no one was upset. Like, it was like,
yeah, but not everybody gets on the first day. You know, your first PLC goes out at the same time as your Facebook ad goes up, right?
Yes.
And you know, you might get 30 people the first day sign up. So that means only 30 people have watched it. So you're not going to have 100 comments. You're going to have 2 comments.
Right.
And everybody over that week that it's released, everybody's at a different stage. So I agree with Silky, get on, do Facebook, but make it general. Have a look at what people are saying. Make it general. There's always something that you can talk about, at least until you get comments. And I don't think it matters which PLC it comes from. I would just...
Yeah, she just was teaching some specific things. So she'd send, her PLC was like, which I thought was really good. It was only a 5-minute video of her talking about the opportunity. Then she basically had a second video that was, okay, now here's what you have to go do, the assignment. And then the next day she did the Q&A, and then it just, you know, led into where people were like, are you going to do a course on this? I'd love the course. Like, she kept saying, I'll talk about that later. Like, she had to shut that down. But one thing she did in her emails, which was really good, was she actually said, in case you've missed, here's day 1, day 2, day 3. So every day there was an email with all of the links. So you could figure out exactly where you were in the process, which I thought was helpful. That was, so that was good.
Essential.
So it was just a simple link, and sort of like, here's where we're at today. And even like, oh my gosh, my email just sent the wrong email, and here's another email. But it was still, even though all of these mistakes happened, it still went really well, and she did a really good job. So
good.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to take that style of teaching, of, you know, little blips of, here's the opportunity, here's the teaching, go do the task, and then, you know, I'll give you some feedback tomorrow and answer any questions, and we can dive a little bit deeper. And I'll probably keep mine to just a half an hour, you know, lives, not do a big long hour, just to keep it short. But I think that's probably a good way to do it. So that's where I'm at. And then as the next thing after that is I'll probably turn this color survey information into a quiz as after the mini course is over. I want to do a quiz for people like as my lead magnet, probably for year round, where they just take the quiz and then they find out what they need to work on. And so anyway, I'm just kind of going through that process of how the quiz might work. I think I'll hold off and just do that a little bit later, but that's how I'm putting it all together.
Great.
So
Great. Oh, that's excellent. So Camille, what about you? Have you done nothing but play with cats?
No, I didn't know what that was. And then I saw the little kitty cat. Hello.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically everything from Saturday stopped, which I feel like I did a whole lot before then, and then I possibly just had one of those weeks where it was like, actually kittens is exactly what was needed.
Yeah.
I can deal with his kittens.
Yeah, there's just kittens. So I have a short landing page with the video. So a lot of people gave some awesome feedback on that, and I because I didn't want to re-record the video, I decided to fix everything with the copy that went around the video, because this is technically supposed to be a seed launch, although it's turning into bigger than Ben-Hur. Then what I did was I built a long version of the landing page for the seed launch, because I'm still thinking of doing $4.95. Was yours a seed launch, Kate? No, okay, because yeah, so I'm thinking of doing it at $4.95 because the real one will be $9.97 or whatever. So I thought that I should do then a longer landing page which has an explanation of each of the 5 modules, and then of course I had to then define each of the 5 modules, which is kind of anti-seed launch because you're kind of supposed to build on the fly, but I still do need to give some framework as to what's going to happen. So that's the bit that I'm up to at the moment, is putting together the 5 module outlines in a landing page. Yeah. Which shouldn't take me much longer if I could just get rid of these kittens.
Priorities.
I know. This is only one of them.
Why did you get 2?
Yeah, we did. We got 2. The other one's asleep over there, and I don't want to disturb her because this one's enough trouble all by itself. The other one's a Maine Coon. She's all like really fluffy.
Oh my God.
And I know. And this one's a Russian blue, and she
will be fluffy then.
No, Russian blues are not fluffy. The Maine Coons are fluffy. Anyway, cats.
You got to give them lots of love when they're young, and then it pays off for the rest of their lives.
I know. So they basically had, both my children had it. They were allowed to have a kitten day at home from school.
Oh,
so yeah, they kind of have taken over the whole house at the moment. So, but yes, back to regular programming. Yeah, so I'm really just doing the landing pages. So, and a question for you, Michelle, you were talking about doing your PLCs and Facebook ads at the same time. So this is where I get a little bit hazy on how you do a seed launch and use it to build your list. So I'm thinking that I'm going to I've got one seed launch email, and then, so it's all the PLCs rolled into one email. Then I've got the 2 versions of the landing page, and then I was going to do it kind of through LinkedIn, posting and putting up stuff, and possibly even running some LinkedIn ads to help build the list. And then maybe I'll look at, I'm still not Facebook me. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm not sure about how to go about building the list. The other thing I have started doing, whoever mentioned Source Bottle? Who mentioned Source Bottle last week or on Tuesday?
I think it was Trish.
Yes,
it was Trish. Anyway, so I signed up to Source Bottle again. And so I've already had one person get back to me. So I'm just doing an email interview with them to go in. I think she's putting a blog on the MyOb website, which isn't a bad place for me to be.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, and you have to really think outside the box a little bit because her thing was about partnerships, and I kind of went, well, I'm really just talking about my clients here. But because my clients stay with me for such a long time, it is effectively a partnership. I am their content department. So hopefully I'll at least get a link or something in the article.
Amazing. That'll be great.
I think if you can say in your Facebook ad that you're going to teach them X, Y, and Z, right? And then send them out the copy of that email with the option to join up to your seed launch. I'd rewrite that and frame it as a PDF, teaching them something, and then say, right, if you want to dive deeper into this, this is the course you need to do. Sign up with me now.
Yeah, right. Yes, put the freebie out as the ad.
As the ad,
Yes.
yeah. And when they get it, they can sign up. And I would just, just set aside $500 or something and say, right, that's what your product's worth, yeah. And so I'm going to put this just on Facebook and see. I hate Facebook, but I'm going to give it a whirl and just see what happens.
You're right. Just see what happens.
So is then when you, sorry, because I'm confused on the same thing. So when you run the ads during a launch, is the launch then the lead magnet? So the masterclass, the free masterclass, that becomes the lead magnet. So you don't send them a PDF or anything.
No.
Okay.
Depends, but this is definitely going to be mine will be the masterclass. That's the ad. Join this free masterclass on color. And that's the lead magnet in itself. Then they're on the list, and then it's like, and by the way, to go deeper, you're gonna want to jump on this seed launch.
So the last one, the PLC 4, shows them what they'll get when they join you. Yeah.
How long's your cart open for, Kate? Is it a week?
Yeah, a week.
Yeah, okay. I'm wondering whether I need to do... No, maybe I just need to do the seed launch and stop overthinking it.
It depends. I mean, I'm only taking it to the free course because I really want to build up my list. And so I think for me, it's probably better to just do a masterclass so I can really make a bigger net for that. If I can, I'd like it to be bigger than just 15 people. And at this point I could probably get 15 people, but I'd like to do a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So
did anyone sit through Ryan's quiz?
I just literally could not do the time or just the whole go here and the tech. I was like, I went and looked and it didn't make sense. And I'm like, I don't have time for this.
It was overwhelming.
His ask method?
No, this was the quiz one that...
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't go through it either.
Yeah, right, okay. Because I started the first video and then I was like, how long is he going to sit here looking at how many people are coming onto the feed?
No, terribly dull. Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh no, just that's what I think I really like about Jeff is he doesn't faff around with anything. He just cuts to the chase, gives you the information that you need.
And it's really real. Everything about Ryan feels so fake. I have his Ask Masterclass, whatever that is, the Ask Method thing. And the other thing about that is that that's all well and good, but to get the software, which you don't really need so much for the Ask, it's $100 a month.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was selling his quiz funnel on this. Like that was just an immense sales pitch.
Yeah, it was all it was. It was just
and I just kind of wanted the 5 minutes where he actually explained quiz theory.
Yeah,
that was the bit that I wanted, so I could just go off to any quiz software or Google Sheets.
Exactly. No, I didn't sit through it either. I did exactly the same as you. I thought, oh, it's got to be in here reasonably quickly, the 5 things. But I don't know. He was so busy explaining the bucket software that he was then going to get $100 a month out of you for. It's just, no, I don't need software to build a quiz. I can build a bloody quiz.
Yeah.
What I need is the questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Which, Kate, are you using Kajabi for your quiz? I know you had a quiz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a quiz at the moment, but yes, I'll just use Kajabi.
Yeah.
I use SurveyMonkey a lot and stuff. So. Yeah, it's not hard to build a quiz, but it is quite hard, I think, to get great questions.
Yeah.
Michelle, with you doing the free masterclass to kind of get a bigger net, what I kind of then struggle with is then you kind of got to nurture them because I've got the same problem that at the moment I've got a very, very small net. And I feel like, okay, great. So I've got these people on my list now. So I'm either going to spend a bucket load of money on ads. And I just realized, just kind of from doing the lead magnet and that one opt-in page, how much time everything takes, given that I'm running a pretty much full-time clinic at the same time, and I've got clients coming out of my ears at the moment, which is lucky, that I might have to just nurture them for forever and ever.
Well, that's why I'm kind of putting all the pieces together and then going into it. So my plan for that, because I agree, I just dropped the ball and not even keep up with it. But I want to do a weekly blog post and a podcast that I will just have as regular content, and make that just sort of like, I might batch it all on one day a month, where I just do all of that at once. But then it's scheduled once a week.
And then next question with that, because Jeff always says in an email, you always want them to take action. So that you don't give them the whole email, but it's always like, want to know more, click here, read my blog, or want to know more, click here, watch my video. Yeah. Is that the gig then with the nurture sequence? Yeah.
So they would just go to the blog, read the blog post, and there'll be a link to the podcast as well.
And they can comment on the blog. So, get them to join the conversation, click here, and they'll get led to the blog, which has the same information on it, and they can write a comment.
Yeah, and the blog and the podcast content will probably be the same, or just like a shorter written version of what is in the podcast. So repurposing that instead of, writing a different blog from the podcast, like, no. Trying to simplify it a little bit. But yeah, it is. I think the nurture part is definitely almost the more challenge. I mean, the launches are exhausting, but the nurture part will be a challenge in itself.
If you have them set up as sequences, really, you can have a big blitz on that and set up. They don't want to hear from you every day. They want to hear from you, once a week or something. Just to remind them that you're still there, and have a blitz and then leave it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when I did the last launch, the part I was weakest on was the follow-up after the, sort of fading out, like basically backing off, but still keeping up. So I want to get better at that next time as well. So I think Jeff has some videos on that, but it's like, how do you keep it going without like, okay, it's over, the intensity of it is over, but how do you keep them, interested in stuff?
Yeah.
I think it's just a case of putting out little bits of information. You may have already put it out in the past, but slightly reframed, because you've got to think that there's, so for Kate, for example, she's got 1,200 new people on her list. One of those, so a percentage of those have gone through the PLCs, and a percentage of those have bought the course. So there's the percentage of people who haven't really paid attention or opened the emails or really, gone in and bought the course. So they may have missed it. Like we just assume that we've put it out and everybody's seen it, but they haven't. So it's okay to put it out again. Yeah. And like I said, went through Jeff's big 3 or 4 day launch for PLF Live last year, plus his LaunchCon launch, which was kind of a rinse and repeat, plus his pivot launch, which all he did was just insert little bits where he said the word pivot often and used the same material, that's literally what he did. So, he went around to his son's house and they just filmed those bits to make it look like they were a bit kind of like scrappy, but really he was just grabbing a whole bunch of stuff he already had and just putting it back into the sequence of what he teaches, which is totally fine, unless you've done it 3 times already, in which case you go, oh, I see you now. But in terms of not reinventing the wheel every single time you do something, then I think it's fine. And, you know, I think his Sunday ones that he puts out, you know, they're just little snippets of something. I don't often listen to them. I just clock that they've come into my inbox. So I go, oh yeah, that's right, Jeff Walker. Must go back into the PLF and do some more modules. So yeah, so it's just that little reminder. So yeah, I don't know that it's it's essential to get too worried about what you put out afterwards, as opposed to keeping their attention just lightly. Yeah, I mean, I'm right in the middle of that. Oh my God, I haven't emailed my list for ages, and I'm stuck because what I've got is, I've got 19 people who signed up for the old academy, which was new. And then I realized I had that issue. And so I changed everything. So now I've got to somehow move those 19 people into the new academy without pissing them off. And I'm stuck right there.
Have you got, just silly question, do you have their phone numbers?
No, they just email people. I know. So the only thing I can do is offer them the paid things for free when they re-sign up to the academy, and maybe offer them a hefty discount on signing up to the seed launch. You know, just give it to them for $97 or something for being. Because
you're closing down the old academy.
Yeah, but it was like 2 months ago. It was brand new. So I've got the new academy, and then I've got the new academy. So I need to get the old academy into the new academy. There's only 19 of them, so it's not like it's not like it's hundreds.
Just tell them they're upgraded. They're just
upgrade them in, chuck them in, give them a welcome email, and
just say we've
well done, you got it cheaper.
Yeah, okay, I can just do that, because I did put out an email saying, oh my God, 2020 technical issues. We're just, closing down the old academy and the new old academy and doing a new one, and I'll be back to you shortly. But shortly has been like 3 weeks now, and I'm just I'm just at that point where I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, I really should
mind. They won't mind these.
No, and the other thing is, if you do it with some level of confidence, and humor, then I think you can get away with a lot more. So I think I'll just need to go in on that.
Do you need to charge them, because you were talking about like giving them a huge discount or something? Or is it easier if you just kind of go, you know what, stuff the $97 for each person and just move them over?
No, they don't have to pay to move over. It's free to move over, and there's a free module, and there's a paid little mini course, and then there will be the seed launch for the big program. And I was going to offer them the discount on the seed launch. If
just move them over. Just kind of go, this thing is so much better. They've
got to reset their password and everything.
Oh, that's
so bloody what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I literally just turned this tiny little thing into this whole big, oh my God, I just have to stop my whole business because of these 19 people.
You know how Jeff did this? Jeff, of course, he puts out 2018, 2019, he updates it every year, and you can pay a bit of money to update to the next one. He said, don't worry, your old one will be there, but eventually I'll just shut it down. So, just use it while you can. At some point I will close down this year's one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Upgrade each year for X amount and so on like that. So, and I know that
he does.
That I think it goes back at least a few years, because guys got like the 2017 one, I think. But for $100 you can upgrade each year and you're in. Another thing that he does to keep people's interest is that how many modules has he got? He's got like too many, so like overwhelm. So he releases one each month. And because of course you've got, so I think the first one's there when you arrive, and then the next one arrives a couple of weeks later or something like that.
And so some of the bonuses are there when you arrive as well, because I signed up this time. So there was some bonuses, and then there was module 1. And you went through that, and then you started waiting there for module 2 to turn up.
So you got your interest, but he hasn't had to do anything. He set that up. It just happens, and he's probably got some emails which automatically drop that in. He probably set that on right at the beginning, and it all just happens. But the other thing is that, because he's got a 1 month free trial or 2 weeks, I think he's changed it to now, whatever like that. You don't get the good stuff.
Right.
Until that point. So
Yes.
it basically encourages people not to use that to take it back. And they can't just get the thing and copy it all and run, which apparently never used to happen, but apparently like 20% of people do that these days. So it's basically...
Oh, wow, really?
Well, I don't know. He was just saying that these days it's become much more of a problem that people will just take it and run and maybe even...
He's got a lot of people on his...
Yeah, he's got a lot of people. He's got a big thing. But, I think further down the line, if you had a lot of products, that's a thing. But, yeah. But that's the way that he keeps people's interest.
Yeah, anyway. I really just have to...
Just sign them over. Just
upgrade them.
Don't replace. It's better than the old one. Don't give them any discounts. Just say, this is better. There's an extra bonus in there for you. Go and change it.
Yeah. Here's your freebie code for the...
Yeah.
And I'm shutting down the old one in a week. Yeah.
Well, I can just manually move them over and keep them on the list. So, yeah, it's not... They just have to reset their password. I think that's all that has to happen. So
honestly, how often do you reset your own password because you can't remember and got kicked out? Like, seriously.
Every single time.
Exactly, right? So, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
If only they'd warned us as children that, keeping track of passwords was going to be like the major preoccupation of being an adult. The major.
Even bigger than times tables, right?
Exactly. And quicksand, we were all quicksand was going to be a big deal.
Who else has got an update?
I can give you an update on my opt-in page. So I finally sent that bigger than Ben-Hur in the making lead magnet out, or the opt-in. I had a very poor open rate of my emails yesterday because I spent all my time on making sure that the opt-in page was right and the tech was working and stuff, that I kind of just quickly threw the email together to introduce the whole thing. It wasn't terrible.
If they didn't open it, then it was the subject line that was the problem, right?
Yeah, so I usually have about between 43 and 50% open rate, and I only had 26% yesterday. So far, I mean, could increase over the weekend, but yeah, so that wasn't great. But I have had 52 visits to the opt-in page and 20 opt-ins from that.
That's a good percentage. That's great. So I'd send them that again. Like, don't expect, if they didn't open it today or yesterday, whenever you sent it, don't expect them to open it. It's gone now.
Yes.
That's deleted.
So maybe follow up.
Send it again with a different title.
Yeah.
Can you send just to the people that didn't open it?
Yeah.
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 So Kate, you reckon 24 to 48 hours, that's it, Doon?
Oh yeah, for sure. You do that? I do that every morning. I delete everything that I don't need to act on today or that I'm really not that interested in.
I do that with my emails. You're right. But yeah, I notice on my feed though, sometimes it's like something I sent out 3 days ago, because I'm sending across different time zones. Sometimes I've still got, somebody opened it 5 minutes ago in Minnesota. And I kind of go, oh, do I do a resend now, or do I wait another day?
But you can resend to people that haven't opened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
I think because I've got that 50% usually open rate, and I quite often get people to open it on the weekend. I see that in my stats. So I usually send the newsletter out Thursday evenings, and then they keep opening it up. So I've also had like lots of feedback that people have got like a special folder for my emails where they keep them to refer back to
and
later.
They probably need the mental space when they're opening your emails, so they can, like, if they need to cry, they need to cry.
Yeah. So my normal newsletter is not grief. It's kind of like more mind training and positivity and blah blah blah. But yeah, I think people love it. But of course, that's so true with the grief one. That also, like, my grief clients, compared to all the other people that I see, they tend to go at a much slower pace. It's like far more incremental change than with other stuff. So
and
yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
something you can push either. It's not like a fast acting bonus or A
Come on,
clock timer. Oh,
Oh dear.
Cure your grief in 2 minutes.
oh, you'll miss out on these bonuses.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
now
I
too late.
love your testimonials. They were so beautiful, and your landing page was gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
So
Can
yeah,
you put that
maybe
in the chat for us?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Can you just put that in the chat?
Sure.
I don't think I saw the final version. Thanks.
Oh,
Sorry, Gigi.
no, that was all. I just thought it was lovely.
Yeah.
Chat box. There we go.
Thank
There it
you.
is. But after what Mike said, I think I need to change it again. You think blah, but really blah, blah. If you just
Yep.
blah, blah.
The other thing that you could do is, if you're able to get this image, and I don't know how technical you are with it, but if you could overlay a grey on it, the blacks are a little bit faded. I mean, it kind of feels like if it had a wash of grey over the top, it would drop it into the background a little bit more, make the writing a bit more readable, but still show this beautiful essence of someone hugging a tree. That's just my thought. So just
Correct.
pop it out a little bit,
I
slightly
think
steely grey over it.
you could do that in Canva, I think.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Right.
I think that it's just a little bit too busy. That it could be that they might. It just might be a little bit harder. It's not that it doesn't read. It's just going to make it harder on their eyes, and they have to focus a little bit more. But if you have a little bit more faded out gray overlay on it, right where the type is, that could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I freaked out when Michelle, when you said that you preferred the other one, and I was like, "Oh, the graphic designer and the artist prefers the clean one." Oh,
I love it.
Monochrome too.
Can you, if you're doing things, can you remove the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like your image. I just think it's a lot to look at as far as just because again, it's that thing of, are people a little bit anxious by it? Like, how does it, it's funny because I was just thinking about how I'm teaching people about color, but it's really about like that feeling of what's the feeling people get when they look at this? Like, does it make them work harder? And I think that's true for any landing page. Like, does it make people have to do more? Because if they have more decisions to make, they're less likely to actually stay on the page.
that's true.
I love the image. Where did it come from, Silka?
That one was actually in a template that I found on MailerLite, and I've been trying to find that image on other stock image things, and I couldn't. But I'm just gonna create exactly that picture.
It's great.
So I'll make that one.
And
I got it.
I think to some extent, if you can do A/B testing with it, I'd be interested if you removed all of the bullet points.
And just left it as sentences.
Whether that would change things at all, I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Download this gentle guide. Maybe keep that. But yeah. You got that. Download this gentle guide and discover.
Sorry to interrupt. I have to hop off. My daughter's just rung me. She's at the station. So I have to go. But I will see you on Tuesday. All the best for Prue's tomorrow, isn't she? She's launching her. Yes. Sorry. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry.
It's free, yeah?
My guide, yeah.
Does it say that anywhere?
Oh, no.
It's just like, I thought it would be until I saw bonus. And then I'm wondering what the bonus is. If you're not paying for it, then it's not really a bonus.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. So I got to put free in there somehow. Yeah.
Download this free gentle guide and discover, maybe. And then maybe send me the free guide.
I don't know if you have to say free or not.
Don't you?
Well, I'm in two minds about it, actually. I kind of feel like we don't really need to say that anymore.
Okay, what do you think, how does that sit with the word bonus?
Where's the bonus?
Bonus is the last bullet point.
With the arrows.
Um,
4 simple things you can do today to start sowing.
Yeah, I'll just take the bonus out.
yeah, you could just take the bonus out, actually. That would, I mean, it's a free.
But then I only thought I might have to pay for it because you said bonus, because it's always something I get as an extra for nothing. Like that's a free gift. So if I'm getting a free gift.
The whole thing's a bonus.
But I think you've got a good point. It's sometimes things look like they're free, and then you sign up like this 30-day free for 30 days or whatever, but they want you to put your credit card in. They're not going to charge you, and then you have to cancel it. So maybe I kind of want to put in there something like no credit card details required or something.
Mine says free all over it. My masterclass says free everywhere, and I still get people emailing me saying, is this free?
I think, yeah, it probably depends on the content too, maybe, as far as, because I'm going to have to say free on my mini course because all my other ones have been paid.
Yeah.
But maybe just download this free gentle guide or something. Maybe it doesn't have to be in big bold, but just casually mention
Maybe in the very last bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Or you can say, send me the free guide on the button.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice.
That would be enough.
Oh,
You
the copywriter kills it again.
On that, can you take the word "the" out of the headline? What scares you most about letting go of your grief?
Yeah.
The, this, that, and just. I go
the most overused word.
Yeah, I know. Just chop them out.
I know. That's.
Thank you. Will do.
Run it all through that that online app thing. What's it called?
Hemingway app.
What's Hemingway app?
It's cool.
Oh, I'll have to have a look.
You basically you can pay for it or you don't pay for it. Just go to the page and paste text on it, and it basically tells you if you're writing for a 10-year-old or not.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I know.
You can change it until it does, you know.
Yeah.
I get so confused. I sent something to my PhD supervisor. Most of the writing I do is academic. Sent something to my supervisor the other day, a manuscript I'm writing. Kate, it's an advertorial. I'm like, oh. Yeah, wrong person. Oh, I was wrong.
Wrong audience.
Can I just go quickly where I'm at?
Yeah, come on.
Well behind. I'm just struggling with life things and so on. But I mean, all sorts is happening. Like 2 nights ago, I just got an entire download for a book and just sat down and wrote out all of the chapter headings and so on like that. And it's hard for me. I'm such a creative. There's this, that, and the other. And if I don't act on them quickly, they fade, and then the next one comes. So it is difficult. One thing is that somewhere in this whole thing, someone offered me a list that breaks down day by day what you need to do for a seed launch. And I'm getting that. I'm starting to put that together so that I have something to follow, so I don't go, oh, shiny thing. And also, I've got my tech a little bit more sorted. I struggled for weeks trying to get my website to actually display. I made all these things and they wouldn't display, and finally it's live and ugly. So now I can start building things. So many different struggles, and we're all at different levels, and I'm a little bit more beginnery, but with some theoretical knowledge. So finding a little bit tricky, but I'm very much encouraged by you guys. I hope I'm contributing a little bit to the conversation being here. And I'm gonna hold myself accountable to put something together in the next few days so that next time we meet, I can say, here, I've got something I've been working on.
Brilliant.
That's great. And put stuff up in the Facebook Messenger chat group, because people get time then to review something and then think about their answer and put it up there. And so by the time we get to here, we've kind of got almost the finished version of the.
So the Facebook Messenger one is the main one, because I'm so confused because there's like 3 different Facebook groups, and then there's the Messenger one, and I just it all fell into the too hard basket. So we're all communicating through the messenger. Okay, I'll work with that one.
Yeah, the messenger is kind of like when we need to have a conversation about something, we all kind of jump in there and help each other out when we can. There's no obligation to kind of contribute. If you can, do. If you can't and it's too much, don't. And then the Facebook page is kind of coming up more like a resource.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to put something in there to find it later.
Resource,
Yeah.
and messenger one more for
Just
Chat.
yeah, chat.
quick stuff that can disappear. Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, if you want it to be found again, it's best to then also put it into the Facebook group, because otherwise you're just scrolling back, because people are quite active in that messenger group. Did Trish want to say something?
Hi, sorry. I jumped in before to say something, but so did somebody else. You guys were talking about passwords, etc. Have you heard of LastPass and Keeper?
Yes, I just
Okay.
heard that, yes.
Yep, I just thought, I wonder if you're aware of that, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, no worries. That's all. I've just been busy doing things while I've been but I want to listen in. At least I can do something. Yeah, I've got no words of wisdom to share today, or nothing to offer. But thank you. It's always helpful listening to everybody else.
Good. All right. Well, in that case, I think we'll wrap it up.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye. Thank
Tuesday's one
you.
gonna be about?
Oh yeah, what are we doing?
Oh, Tuesday.
Oh, Friday. Yeah. Tuesday.
What's good? In my mind, I'll be thinking about PLC content. I don't know if that is relevant for anyone.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
so. Yep. I think talking about PLC content is probably a really good one, because it'll be an extended topic. We can
Yeah.
dip in and out of it.
Kind of can be shrunken down into, a quick opportunity transformation email, or we can go into 3 days long. Like, it's all the same. It's just a matter of how long and short we really want to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Michelle. I got that course, the podcasting course. She's great.
The Pinterest or podcast? Jenna
I
has.
bought her podcast one.
Oh, did you? I bought.
Yeah, I'm not up to Pinterest yet. It's
Okay.
gonna take me a while to get my head
And
around it.
do you like the podcast one? Because I haven't done the podcast.
I haven't actually opened it yet, but I really liked her PLC, which is obviously just one video, 8 minutes long or something. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I imagine that's an evergreen thing as well.
Yes,
I
I
would
think
guess.
she's quite good at her PLCs.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy her Pinterest one, Michelle. Thank you for putting me on to it. So yeah. I'll go down that rabbit hole.
I'm going to get the Pinterest one probably for my 13-year-old daughter, who is dead set determined to start her own business.
Oh, that's us.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, so she can move out of home into a fancy apartment with a swimming pool.
Oh, good on her.
Because we're lacking.
That's so cool.
So I was hoping to talk to Carloon as well, just about that Amazon thing, because I think maybe she wants to do product, so I'm just talking to her about how she starts it. But I explained the whole thing about having that bucket of people who follow you and communicating with them, so she kind of
Pinterest is perfect for her.
Yeah, lifestyle, 13-year-old lifestyle guru.
What does she want to sell?
She wants to sell things like cute phone covers and jewelry for teenagers and that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to encourage her to think a little further on to how that actually all happens, and you don't have to buy a great big box of phone covers that you can't sell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we're just going through all that.
Excellent.
So.
Oh, that's lovely.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All
Have
right.
a great weekend.
Bye. Bye.
We'll see you next